The Cyrillic script, CRLK, is an alphabetic writing system employed across Eastern Europe and North and Central Asia. It is based on the early Cyrillic, which was developed during the First Bulgarian Empire in the 9th century AD at the Preslav Literary School. It is the basis of alphabets used in various languages, past and present, in parts of southeastern Europe and northern Eurasia, especially those of Slavic origin, and non-Slavic languages influenced by Russian. As of 2011 update, around 252 million people in Eurasia use it as the official alphabet for their national languages, with Russia accounting for about half of them. Cyrillic is one of the most used writing systems in the world. Cyrillic is derived from the Greek uncial script, augmented by letters from the older Glagolitic alphabet, including some ligatures. These additional letters were used for Old Church Slavonic sounds not found in Greek. The script is named in honor of the two Byzantine brothers, Saints Cyril and Methodius, who created the Glagolitic alphabet earlier on. Modern scholars believe that Cyrillic was developed and formalized by early disciples of Cyril and Methodius. With the accession of Bulgaria to the European Union on 1 January 2007, Cyrillic became the third official script of the European Union, following the Latin script and Greek script. Letters. Cyrillic script spread throughout the East and South Slavic territories, being adopted for writing local languages, such as the Old East Slavic. Its adaptation to local languages produced a number of Cyrillic alphabets, discussed hereafter. Capital and lowercase letters were not distinguished in old manuscripts. Yeri was originally a ligature of yer and I. Iotation was indicated by ligatures formed with the letter I. Many letters had variant forms and commonly used ligatures, for example equals. The letters also had numeric values, based not on Cyrillic alphabetical order, but inherited from the letters' Greek ancestors. The early Cyrillic alphabet is difficult to represent on computers. Many of the letter forms differed from modern Cyrillic, varied a great deal in manuscripts, and changed over time. Few fonts include adequate glyphs to reproduce the alphabet. In accordance with Unicode policy, the standard does not include letterform variations or ligatures found in manuscript sources unless they can be shown to conform to the Unicode definition of O character. In Microsoft Windows, Sago UI is notable for having complete support for the archaic Cyrillic letters since Windows 8. Letterforms and typography. Late medieval Cyrillic letters show a marked tendency to be very tall and narrow, with strokes often shared between adjacent letters. Peter the Great, Tsar of Russia, mandated the use of westernized letter forms in the early 18th century. Over time, these were largely adopted in the other languages that use the script. Thus, unlike the majority of modern Greek fonts that retained their own set of design principles for lowercase letters, modern Cyrillic fonts are much the same as modern Latin fonts of the same font family. The development of some Cyrillic computer typefaces from Latin ones has also contributed to the visual Latinization of Cyrillic type. Cyrillic uppercase and lowercase letter forms are not as differentiated as in Latin typography. Upright Cyrillic lowercase letters are essentially small capitals, although a good quality Cyrillic typeface will still include separate small caps glyphs. Cyrillic fonts, as well as Latin ones, have Roman and italic types. However, the native font terminology in most Slavic languages does not use the words Roman and italic in this sense. Instead, the nomenclature follows German naming patterns. Roman type is called Preamurschrift, compare with normal Schrift in German. Italic type is called cursive or cursivny Schrift, from the German word cursive, meaning italic typefaces and not cursive writing. Cursive handwriting is Rukopисany Schrift in Russian. In German, Kurrentschrift or Laufschrift, both meaning literally running type. As in Latin typography, a sans serif face may have a mechanically sloped oblique type instead of italic. Similarly to Latin fonts, italic and cursive types of many Cyrillic letters are very different from their upright Roman types. In certain cases, the correspondence between uppercase and lowercase glyphs does not coincide in Latin and Cyrillic fonts. For example, italic Cyrillic is the lowercase counterpart of notive. A boldface type is called Pelusiani Schrift, because there existed fully bold-faced shapes that have been out of use since the beginning of the 20th century. A bold-italic combination does not exist for all font families. In standard Serbian, as well as in Macedonian, some italic and cursive letters are different from those used in other languages. These letter shapes are often used in upright fonts as well, especially for advertisements, road signs, inscriptions, posters and the like. Less so in newspapers or books. The Cyrillic lowercase has a slightly different design both in the Roman and italic types, which is similar to the lowercase Greek letter delta. The following table shows the differences between the upright and italic Cyrillic letters of the Russian alphabet. Italic forms significantly different from their upright analogues, or especially confusing to users of a Latin alphabet, are highlighted. Note: in some fonts or styles, lowercase italic Cyrillic may look like Latin G and lowercase italic Cyrillic may look exactly like a capital italic T, only small. Cyrillic alphabets. Among others, Cyrillic is the standard script for writing the following languages. Slavic languages: Belarusian, Bulgarian, Macedonian, Russian, Serbo-Croatian, Ukrainian. Non-Slavic languages: Abkhaz, Ilush, Bashkir, Chuvash, Ursia, Kazakh, Kildin Sami, Komi, Kyrgyz, Mari, Moksha, Mongolian, Ossetic, Romani, Sakha, Yakut, Tajik, Tatar, Tilingite, Tuvan, Udmurt, Ute, and Yupik. The Cyrillic script has also been used for languages of Alaska, Slavic Europe, the Caucasus, Siberia, and the Russian Far East. The first alphabet derived from Cyrillic was Aber, used for the Komi language. Other Cyrillic alphabets include the Molodtsov alphabet for the Komi language and various alphabets for Caucasian languages. Name: because the script was conceived and popularized by the followers of Cyril and Methodius, rather than by Cyril and Methodius themselves. Its name denotes homage rather than authorship. The name, Cyrillic, often confuses people who are not familiar with the script's history, because it does not identify a country of origin. Some call it the Russian alphabet, because Russian is the most popular and influential alphabet based on the script. Some Bulgarian intellectuals, notably Stefan Sanev, have expressed concern over this, and have suggested that the Cyrillic script be called the Bulgarian alphabet, instead, for the sake of historical accuracy. In Bulgarian, Macedonian, Russian, and Serbian, the Cyrillic script is also known as Azbuka, derived from the old names of the first two letters of most Cyrillic alphabets. History: the Cyrillic script was created in the First Bulgarian Empire and is derived from the Greek uncial script letters, augmented by ligatures and consonants from the older Glagolitic alphabet for sounds not found in Greek. Tradition holds that Cyrillic and Glagolitic were formalized either by Saints Cyril and Methodius, who brought Christianity to the southern Slavs, or by their disciples. Paul Kuberly posits that although Cyril may have codified and expanded Glagolitic, it was his students in the First Bulgarian Empire under Tsar Simeon the Great that developed Cyrillic from the Greek letters in the 890s as a more suitable script for church books. Later Cyrillic spread among other Slavic peoples, Russians, Serbs and others, as well as among non-Slavic Vlachs and Moldavians. Cyrillic and Glagolitic were used for the Church Slavonic language, especially the Old Church Slavonic variant. Hence expressions such as, is the 10th Cyrillic letter, typically refer to the order of the Church Slavonic alphabet. Not every Cyrillic alphabet uses every letter available in the script. The Cyrillic script came to dominate Glagolitic in the 12th century. The literature produced in the Old Bulgarian language soon spread north and became the lingua franca of the Balkans and Eastern Europe, where it came to also be known as Old Church Slavonic. The alphabet used for the modern Church Slavonic language in Eastern Orthodox and Eastern Catholic rites still resembles early Cyrillic. However, over the course of the following millennium, Cyrillic adapted to changes in spoken language, developed regional variations to suit the features of national languages, and was subjected to academic reform and political decrees. A notable example of such linguistic reform can be attributed to Vuk Stefanović Karadzic, who updated the Serbian Cyrillic alphabet by removing certain graphemes no longer represented in the vernacular, and introducing graphemes specific to the Serbian language, distancing it from Church Slavonic alphabet in use prior to the reform. Today, many languages in the Balkans, Eastern Europe, and Northern Eurasia are written in Cyrillic alphabets. Relationship to other writing systems. Latin script. A number of languages written in a Cyrillic alphabet have also been written in a Latin alphabet, such as Azerbaijani, Uzbek, and Romanian. After the disintegration of the Soviet Union in 1991, some of the former republics officially shifted from Cyrillic to Latin. The transition is complete in most of Moldova, Turkmenistan, and Azerbaijan, but Uzbekistan still uses both systems. The Russian government has mandated that Cyrillic must be used for all public communications in all federal subjects of Russia, to promote closer ties across the federation. This act was controversial for speakers of many Slavic languages. For others, such as Chechen and Ingush speakers, the law had political ramifications. For example, the separatist Chechen government mandated a Latin script which is still used by many Chechens. Those in the diaspora especially refused to use the Chechen Cyrillic alphabet, which they associate with Russian imperialism. Standard Serbian uses both the Cyrillic and Latin scripts. Cyrillic is nominally the official script of Serbia's administration according to the Serbian constitution. However, the law does not regulate scripts in standard language, or standard language itself by any means. In practice, the scripts are equal, with Latin being used more often in less official capacity. The Zhuang alphabet, used between the 1950s and 1980s in portions of the People's Republic of China, used a mixture of Latin, phonetic, numeral-based, and Cyrillic letters. The non-Latin letters, including Cyrillic, were removed from the alphabet in 1982 and replaced with Latin letters that closely resembled the letters they replaced. Romanization. There are various systems for romanization of Cyrillic texts, including transliteration to convey Cyrillic spelling in Latin letters, and transcription to convey pronunciation. Standard Cyrillic to Latin transliteration systems include scientific transliteration, used in linguistics, is based on the Latin Czech alphabet. The Working Group on Romanization Systems of the United Nations recommends different systems for specific languages. These are the most commonly used around the world. ISO 9-1995 from the International Organization for Standardization, American Library Association and Library of Congress. Romanization tables for Slavic alphabets, used in North American libraries. BGN, PCGN. Romanization, United States Board on Geographic Names and Permanent Committee on Geographical Names for British official use. GOST 16876, a now defunct Soviet transliteration standard, replaced by GOST 7.79, which is ISO 9 equivalent. Volapük encoding, an informal rendering of Cyrillic text over Latin alphabet ASCII. See also Romanization of Belarusian, Bulgarian, Kyrgyz, Russian, Macedonian and Ukrainian. Cyrilization representing other writing systems with Cyrillic letters is called Cyrilization. Computer encoding. Unicode. As of Unicode version 7.0, letters of Cyrillic, including national and historical alphabets, are represented in four main blocks: Cyrillic, U+0400 U+04FF, Cyrillic supplement, U+0500 U+052F, Cyrillic extended A, U+2DEO U+2DFF, Cyrillic extended B, U+A640 U+A69F. The characters in the range U+0400 to U+045F are basically the characters from ISO 8859-5 moved upward by 864 positions. The characters in the range U+0460 to U+0489 are historic letters, not used now. The characters in the range U+0488 to U+052F are additional letters for various languages that are written with Cyrillic script. Unicode as a general rule does not include accented Cyrillic letters. A few exceptions are combinations that are considered as separate letters of respective alphabets, like two most frequent combinations orthographically required to distinguish homonyms in Bulgarian and Macedonian. A few Old and New Church Slavonic combinations. To indicate stressed or long vowels, combining diacritical marks can be used after the respective letter. Some languages, including Church Slavonic, are still not fully supported. Unicode 5.1, released on 4 April 2008, introduces major changes to the Cyrillic blocks, revisions to the existing Cyrillic blocks, and the addition of Cyrillic extended A and Cyrillic extended B. Significantly improved support for the early Cyrillic alphabet, Abkhaz, Alush, Chuvash, Kurdish, and Mordvin. Other punctuation for Cyrillic text is similar to that used in European Latin alphabet languages. Other character encoding systems for Cyrillic. CP866 8-bit Cyrillic character encoding established by Microsoft for use in MS-DOS, also known as GOST alternative. Cyrillic characters go in their native order, with a window for pseudographic characters. ISO, IEC the 8th of May 8859-bit Cyrillic character encoding established by International Organization for Standardization. KOI8R 8-bit native Russian character encoding, invented in the USSR for use on Soviet clones of American IBM and DEC computers. The Cyrillic characters go in the order of their Latin counterparts, which allowed the text to remain readable after transmission via a 7-bit line that removed the most significant bit from each byte. The result became a very rough, but readable, Latin transliteration of Cyrillic. Standard encoding of early 1990s for Unix systems and the first Russian Internet encoding. KOI8U, KOI8R with addition of Ukrainian letters. MIC 8-bit native Bulgarian character encoding for use in Microsoft DOS. Windows 12518 8-bit Cyrillic character encoding established by Microsoft for use in Microsoft Windows. The simplest 8-bit Cyrillic encoding, 32 capital chars in native order at 0xC0 to 0xDF, 32 usual chars at 0xC0 to 0xFF, with rarely used yo characters somewhere else. No pseudographics. Former standard encoding in some new Linux distributions for Belarusian and Bulgarian, but currently displaced by UTF-8. GOST main. GB 2312 principally simplified Chinese encodings, but there are also the basic 33 Russian Cyrillic letters. JIS and Shift JIS, principally Japanese encodings, but there are also the basic 33 Russian Cyrillic letters. Keyboard layouts. Each language has its own standard keyboard layout, adopted from typewriters, with the flexibility of computer input methods. There are also transliterating or phonetic, homophonic keyboard layouts made for typists who are more familiar with other layouts, like the common English QWERTY keyboard. When practical Cyrillic keyboard layouts or fonts are not available, computer users sometimes use transliteration or look-alike (volapük) encoding to type languages that are normally written with the Cyrillic alphabet.